And welcome back to Stationeers, with me, 54 Bear, the complete idiot, doing a brutal start, or it was a brutal start, on Mimas. Here we have our nice garden. Of course I can't see anything because I don't have my interface on. It's good, I'm getting some seeds. No, tomato still hasn't seeded. Or actually, it has seeded once, but it's very slow. So, lots of soybean seeds, which is good. Alright, that's the pumpkin. Thank God for that little yellow box. Let's put the light on so I can see what I'm doing. Very difficult focusing on things when the plants get so big. Alright, those ones I think were slow to seed, so I'm not going to replant those. Oh, more soybean seeds. Now the thing, when it's seeding but you're holding the crops in your hand, you can actually harvest the crops and then it won't do anything until you pull the seed out. Well, I'll say it won't do anything. It won't replant it. Right, so that one there. Actually, I think I'm okay for soybeans, so I don't think I need to have quite so many plants. Fern seeds I will grab. I don't want to go too mad with the ferns because they do kind of take over. As you can see, they're rather monstrous plants. My pumpkin is still not doing that well. It just takes some time, right? That I will leave for the moment. I'll leave that one empty. I may put another row in here and, you know, boost the wheat a little. Maybe put another pumpkin in, just so I can get those seeds for when the greenhouse is built. Right, that can go in there. That'll give me my soybean oil. This will be the last time I try and mush a baked potato through my helmet, because now what have I got? Yes. So 1 potato and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oil. Oh, close the lid. French fries. Already have some oil. And yes, I put in the big fridge because I was getting enough things that I had to worry about them going off, and I don't want them to go off just yet. Plus, we've sort of got over the first power hump, so power isn't so much of an issue, so I don't mind having this thing turned on all the time. All right, let's get the water over there so I'm not constantly walking on it. And yes, I have built the small packager thing, because even though tomato soup has been significantly nerfed, it's, you know, still a good way of, well, still another food type you can have. Right, French fries, 4-star food, lovely. And that means we can fill our first up even further, 175%. So the annoying buzz will not be annoying quite so frequently. And also I'll be making bread. I'm not certain if I have enough flour. Actually, I do. But yeah, we'll keep going. We'll probably keep this just because it's here and it's a useful experiment. The temperature inside it has not diminished, well, it's hardly increased at all. I think it was minus 131 about 40 in-game days ago. I did let things get a little bit cold in here. And with having this cooling system, I may be wrong, but I believe when this is actually condensing the liquids, that is actually cooling the room as well, because you get in some extremely cold liquid oxygen or nitrogen or whatever is freezing coming out of there, and that is actually cooling. It would be interesting to see if you had a system that was just that, like no valve, no radiators, just a constant drip of condensing gases coming into a room. It'd be interesting to see what kind of cooling effect that has. It'll take someone smarter than me to figure out the math. Don't know if the fridges lose efficiency by having their doors open, but close them anyway. Now, I do have another table. Thing is, I wanted to put it here, and that's where my base controller is. So I am going to temporarily rip that up and relocate it. And I think, oh, I can't have it right there. Now, the question is, will a cable run in front of that? No, it won't. So the fridges have a weird exclusion zone. So I can't put a cable in front of it there, and I can't put a cable in front of it there. So that means having it like in this configuration, I can't even put the cable there. So the thing would have to live there, and I'm not certain if I really want that. So let's get the bench in first. That will need to come out. And of course everything is in the wrong place again. Could really do with some cupboards in here. I should have printed some up. And this green tank, this is what's left of my original starting jetpack supply. I just put it in here so the soybeans would have some extra gas should I need any. And we'll have a slightly different format. Alright, so the cable is not going to run between or underneath, unfortunately. So it has to come all the way around, which is going to mean I can't put another thing there. Maybe I should not put the bench there. Ah, well, yeah, that'll do. Although I could run it this way. Oh, but yeah, I can't run it right in front of that little fridge. All right, do it this way. Yeah, I mean, I can always loop the pipes around here so that it is connected. In that case, I may build it all the way along and put in a second grow light and then relocate these radiators. Or maybe I'll just stick with this. I mean, to be honest, this is enough food for me to survive. Not really enough to be generating oxygen, but for now it will do. Right, so canning machine can go up there. Incidentally, if you weren't aware, when you've got it in your hand, I mean, you can just like lob it there and wrench it down. But what I was doing is a thing called precision place. You know, with your active hand, you press the T key, and then the delete page down will rotate it around. Doesn't really matter if it's pointing in the wrong direction. When you go to wrench it down, oh, geez. No, wrong thing. Pressing the wrong buttons again. My speciality. When you wrench it down, it automatically gets put into the closest slot. Okay, right, now we need somewhere for the housing. Where did that go? I'm losing my marbles. Oh, it's not lit. And I'm out of power. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's a shame you can't mount them underneath. Right, so I could put it on the wall, I guess. Yeah, I think we'll do it like that. Gets it out of the way, doesn't impede on the view. And where's my cable? Now, because when I was doing the code for this thing, because I used batch commands, I don't have to worry about things not being set properly. There we go. I just put it in, turn it on. Okay, I was wrong. I must have used pins. I did. No. Famous last words. Okay, right, not a problem. Just turned it off. Grab the screwdriver. So this needs to be the sensor, which will be the daylight sensor. And this needs to be the grow light. That one. There we go. Right, hunky-dory. Okay, so that is all that has been going on in here. Desperately need some cupboard space. I may still get rid of this. I don't know. I mean, I really don't need 2 fridges, but it doesn't use any power. So there is that going for it. All right, let's top up on the water, just because we can. Remember to close helmet. And yes, it is long past due to get a proper airlock in here. But I'm lazy and there's other more fun stuff to do. Speaking of fun stuff, advanced furnace. Yes, it's going in. It's going to be a slightly different design, I think. What I'm doing at the moment is I am filling the waste tank from the old waste tank. And it is in progress. And to do that, I'm using this filtration unit. If you didn't know, when you take the filters out, everything that goes in the input comes out the output. So my original bit of warm CO2 is still there and untouched. Obviously I could put the CO2 filter back in and it will continue to filter out the CO2. But for the moment I'm quite happy for all of this CO2 to go into the waste tank. It's not the fastest way of doing it, but I thought it would be fun to try. At some point I will do a proper test to figure out which is actually faster and which gets you the most bang for the buck. So how much power is this thing using? I've probably scrolled past it. Must have done. Oh, required power, 10 watts. So, yeah. And, yeah, that's going along tickety-boo. So I should just leave that running. I know I'm not in desperate straits as far as power goes. I have loads and loads of super hot gas here. This is the more full tank, 1600 degrees. This is the smaller one. This is the one that is currently connected to the Sterlings, and I am actively pulling out the CO2 and pollutants over here. And I can't really remember why. I think the CO2, I'm just going to cool it down. The pollutants will probably get a lot hotter because I will start pulling it in from the other tank, and then I may set up a heat exchanger to get what will be the hot tank up here filled with very hot gas. But for now I just wanted to pull out the waste stuff. I will set up a temporary filtration on these because I want to pull the oxygen and the nitrous out. The last thing I want to be doing when I'm smelting stuff is adding in oxidants into something that could have volatiles in it. Although once this is drained, this small furnace, let me turn that off, will get disassembled and it will get relocated probably here or here, and it will be used just for degassing. So eventually all of these 3 tanks will have nothing but pollutants in them, and that should work out just fine. I may also use carbon dioxide as well. That's fairly good thermally, so that should work. Now with that pipe being there, I can't really get into the plumbing that I want to. I also need to print up a whole bunch of resources. Only have 16 steel here. I'm not certain how much steel I have. I may need to do some smelting. Yeah, my emergency bar has gone. So yeah, I'm down to my last 100, so I will have to do a bit more smelting on here before I can actually get that finished. But that's okay, I'll just throw in some oxides. I'm not going to subject you to that. It would be quite boring. You've seen me do smelting before, nothing unusual. Still haven't put the 3rd Sterling in. Probably won't. I think I'm kind of okay with 2 at the moment. And I want to be careful that I'm not cooling the gas down too fast, because then I have to start worrying about things freezing or liquidizing, and I'm still a little bit iffy on that. Don't have much stuff. I mean, the combustor's turned off. Ooh. The combustor has freezing stuff in it. That's interesting. Well, I'm assuming it won't get damaged. But yeah. Has half a litre of water in there. Maybe I should just turn it on for a moment. That should warm everything up again. But yeah, right, that stuff's going into the pink tank, which is the full one. I don't want to overfill it because every time I go in here or go into the power room, you get deafened by the chorus of creaking pipes, which, to be honest, I am not a fan of. As far as water supply goes, we have almost 100 litres at 50 degrees. I don't have a proper cooling system for it. I just have a bunch of radiators and I slap them on and take them off when it gets close to the freezing point or close to where I want it to stop. I put in volume pumps here just to increase the throughput although the throughput has dropped quite significantly now. So let's try bumping up the pressure. No, it's not doing a thing. Whoops, bad. So 1 mole. I assume it's just because of the relative percentages of stuff it's trying to pull out. So the vast majority at the moment is volatiles. And to be honest, I should probably pull those out. But one thing I noticed, slight boo-boo, in amongst all the funky piping. Let me put my thingy away. Down at the bottom there, that orange square is a heat exchanger. And I thought I was being very clever by doing the heat exchange on the ices as they came out, which was fine at the time. I didn't have the big tanks. Now I do. So what I should be doing is equalizing the pressure or equalizing the temperatures between the tanks rather than on the extractors. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of funky pipeage, and we will relocate that. So that I will do now while I think about it. Actually, it needs the drill to disassemble. So obviously it needs to connect to this top piece of white pipe. Has a direct connection to the oxygen tank, and obviously the red one does as well. So we have to come up with a design that is stupidly ridiculous, and I don't really know what that would look like. There, I think. Yeah, so we need a little bit of funky pipeage here. That one will come out, down, and in like that. Now the other one uses just regular pipe, and I think I have some. Yes, I do. This actually won't be quite so funky. There we go. This will be white. This will be red. Okay, so that will now equalize the temperatures. Now the reason why I'm doing that is I do have oxygen in this waste tank over here, although it's currently moving over here, and I think there might be some in these as well. So probably we'll filter that out, add it into the white oxygen tank, and do the same with volatiles. Now when the hot stuff is coming in, obviously I'm going to have to take care to cool it, because there is at some point the fuel or if I try and make fuel with one of the gases being too hot, there is a risk of auto combustion inside the pipes, massive increase in temperatures, massive increase in pressures, and large craters where you don't want them. To be honest, I don't want any craters, unless I'm playing with hand grenades, in which case, yes. But for the most part, you want to keep your base crater free. That's a pro tip there. Worth the price of admission just for that one piece of information. Anyway, I digress. Some of the gas coming in will be hot, so I need to take care to cool it down before it gets added into these tanks to make certain that things do not go boom. The temperature used to be 50 degrees. I gather from one of the commenters on a previous video, It is now 300. I don't disbelieve that, but I will still try and get the fuel down close to 0, just to remove any possibility of things not quite registering right when the game loads. Anyway, that's all I've got time for at the moment. It's a process now of sucking all this stuff out into this one. We are just over halfway, so it's going to take an in-game day, I would think, to finish. Good news is it's only using 10 watts, so you just remember you can use these things as low power pumps. They're not super high capacity, but they work reliably and they don't use much power. Once this is empty, I'll dismantle the tank, disconnect all the pipes, and everything will end up in this tank. Obviously, I will need to do some filtration on it, to get the the nitrous oxide and the oxygen out. Although, to be honest, if I'm dealing all with degas doors, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave any questions you have in the comments, and I'll be delighted to get back to you. Likewise, if you have any complaints, I will do my level best to fix it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. 54 Bear out.